Morning, everybody. This is Eddie coming to you from Arizona with the Internet Lifestyle Network, and now the new eddieaguilar.com. Address will be posted below, or the link, so take a look and share your thoughts and ideas. It is a work in progress, but might as well get it out now. This morning I was debating on going to church. I had my kids, and last night they asked if we can go to the gym. Start working on some baseball, playing some catch, also softball. Also get our buff on. So figured we'll do that this morning, and instead of going to church, I figured I'd talk about the power of prayer and how it's affected my life. A few years back, when I started taking my kids to church with me, they were like me when I was a kid, and huffed and puffed, and Saturday night, got to go to bed early. Why do we got to go to bed early? It's a weekend. To get up, go to church. We do that for school. So to try and get them to think, I asked them both. I said, if something happened to Daddy or Mom or Grandma or Grandpa or somebody close to you, what would you do? If they ended up in the hospital or hurt and needed some help, would you just ask the doctors and say, please doctors, help my friend or loved one? Or would you reach for prayer? And they both said prayer. And then I asked them both in their own personal lives, who are they more willing to help? Are they willing to help a friend that's been loyal to them, that's been a shoulder for them, and vice versa, and somebody that entrusted themselves with my daughter or son, and vice versa, that mutual love? Would they be more willing to help that person, or more of an acquaintance? Somebody that really doesn't show much support for you, care or love for you, just kind of acknowledges your existence, but that's about it. Well, they both answered, obviously, the one that's always been supportive of them. So once I asked that, my daughter said, gotcha, and that was it. So since then, anytime I tell them, let's go to church, we go. And so kind of emphasizing the power of prayer. Well, last summer, my dad ended up in the hospital. Got a call from my mom, said, your dad, you need to head to the ER, it's not good, so on and so forth. So once I got to the ER, situations like this, like my dad has always groomed me for, I guess so to say. Him being the second oldest of 11 children, and being the oldest male, he's always taken on that role of being the support system, being the backbone of the family, especially in trying times. And so my dad ended up in the hospital. My first thought was, all right, I got to take care of business. I got to make sure my brother's good, uncles and aunts, cousins, and everybody's informed, so on and so forth. And there I go with so on and so forth. But once I got in there, rather than praying for God to save him and to make things better and make things right, I think in the worst situation that I could possibly be in, having a parent or a loved one in that situation, rather than, I guess the next worst would be my children. But being in that situation, I didn't hesitate. I prayed to God. I said, God, this is in your hands. I'm entrusting you with what's going to happen here. I will not question you, and this is all you're doing. And I believe there's a purpose and a reason. So what had happened was my dad ended up in the ER, or in ICU, for 4 days, and my brother and I had to make the decision to go ahead and pull him from the machines. Well, in doing this, before that, I prayed one prayer. In that prayer, I asked God, I told him, I'm going to ask several things of you. One, if you're going to leave him whole. Please don't leave him here vegetable and not himself. Somebody that can't help people, somebody that can't be there for the rest of the family, and take him. And then the second one was, are you going to take him? Are you going to have him and pull him by your side? Are you going to bring him up to your world, to the kingdom, and have him be able to watch watch over his grandkids. And I asked him to please give my dad one chance to prove his worth, and if my dad couldn't prove his worth or his value for God, and I know some of this might sound crazy, but then that's I entrust God's decision, and no, will not question. And then the third is if you were to take my dad, or if you're gonna take him, if possible, please give me a sign. So I wasn't worried, I wasn't stressed. I knew it was in his hands and didn't question. And then when the time came, we pulled him off the machine. He passed, and right as soon as he passed, his head tilted to my side. So I gave him a big kiss and told him to go home. Well, then he took one last breath, and when he did that, I didn't see his face or anything. So I knew it was done. So I pointed to one of my uncles and asked him to ask the lady, is he gone? And they said yes. So next thing for me to do was to take care of the following procedures, what was going to happen from there with my dad, start planning the funeral and whatnot. Well, afterwards I went into the room to sit down with him, and my Uncle Roki, my Aunt Susan were in there. And my Uncle Roki asked, he said, "Did you see that?" And I did hear something right after he passed, somebody saying, "Holy cow, did you see that?" And I said, "No, I didn't see it. I heard Aunt Barbara saying something about it." And he said, "Eddie," he said, he opened his eyes and he smiled like he's seen somebody he hadn't seen in a long time. And I know he has lost several brothers, his mom and dad, and several other loved ones, even people from Vietnam and whatnot. So after that, I knew that was my cue, that was my sign. And it wasn't something that I had seen, it was something that his family and my family had witnessed, which was awesome. So to me, God answered my prayer. I entrusted in him, and didn't ask selfishly, and didn't question his motives, didn't question why. I know there's a purpose, I know there's a reason, whether it's a career, relationship, your health right now. I truly believe sometimes we got to go through hell for a reason, to make us better, to improve our strength, to be the light for others, and to pass that on, and share with the world what blessings we've been given. So anyways, that's my little deal on the power of prayer, and continue to pray and trust that he leads me in the direction he wants me to go. So hope you guys have a good day, good night, good evening, good morning, wherever you're at when you're watching this, and God bless.